Hi guys, this is Max from HighOnCameras.com, where we get on cameras every day. Anyway, I do get a ton of lenses, and I really didn't do unboxing. It's not related with my High on Android main channel, so I didn't want to do every unboxing of lens. But since this is my new channel, just for cameras, I figured I will start doing lens unboxing. So what I ordered is the Sony's new macro lens, 50mm. Alright, the reason why I got this, alright, the other day, actually I was just making review of the new Google Pixel phones. And basically I got this new Edelkrone, now let me show you. I got the slider one, Edelkrone pocket slider. I really love it. I have the motorized one too. But this one's awesome because that one I have to set up a tripod, set it up here, move my chair. This one I just set it down here and I just move it. Alright? And while I was doing this, I wanted to do a sort of a close-up cinematic where I'm getting like super close to the subject, to the phone. And since it's called Pixel, I was gonna zoom out on it. And I was using the kit lens for Sony E-mount, the 28 to 70mm. This one's great because the autofocus works great while I'm zooming out. It'll automatically focus for me. Autofocus works on this too, but it just doesn't work well enough for zooming out. So it sort of hunts. Really hard to do focusing unless I can put a follow focus on it. That's just gonna make my rig bigger. I'm really preparing for those shows that I'm gonna be traveling to in Vegas and CES. So I want everything super light. So I needed to get a lens that could get very close up. And if you look at every Sony lens, the minimum focusing distance is like at least a foot. This kit lens, it's about 6 inches. This is actually one of the best for minimum focusing distance. So to solve that, what you can do is get a macro lens. Basically, you can get close-up shots. Now Sony doesn't have that many macro lenses. They have the expensive one, the 90mm. It also has OSS. But for my purposes, that's gonna be too much. It's very expensive. I think it's like $1,500, and also it's heavy. I want something light that I can travel with. So I got the Sony 50mm Macro F2.8. All right, it's not the widest aperture, but when you're doing macro, you're gonna get a lot of bokeh anyways. So I got this. And the good thing with macro lenses is that they also work pretty decent as regular lenses. So if you're making videos about like small products, since I do mainly where close-ups will become very ideal for close-ups of cameras or whatever, you may want to consider getting a macro 50 instead of the regular 50mm. Which, regular 50mm, you'll need at least like 2 feet to focus, or 3 feet. So let's go ahead and unbox it. And let me go ahead and show you here. So anyway, another reason was when I'm doing the slider zoom out, I don't want to be using manual focus. I want the autofocus to work. And with the Sony cameras, you really need autofocus. I am still using my Sony A6300 to record my video because I have my cage, my whole rig set up already with the 18 to 35 Sigma. I'll have a review on that also. That is my actually main camera. The Sony A7S2 is my second camera, the R2 also. Alright, so this is the macro. So this has a different setting here. Depending on how you want to focus, if you want full or if you want macro, you can go ahead and switch it back and forth, which is really awesome. So while this does not have the fastest aperture, it's not the fastest lens, the fact that you can get super close and get that macro shot, it's awesome. Minimum focusing distance, I believe, is like 6 inches. So 6 inches with a 50mm, you can get really awesome zoom shots. And it is super light. I believe it's like 200 grams. So let me go ahead and put it on. Let's test it out real quick. Excuse the mess here. I just finished making a video, and I wasn't gonna make this video, but the lens just came, so sort of like at the moment I want to make this video now. All right, I love this lens, by the way. It's a Sigma 24mm f1.4. Great, super sharp. I would rather use this, but for travel It is very heavy. It's like 600 grams versus 200 grams. 3 times more, plus the MC11 adapter. It doesn't focus well for autofocus, for zoom in and out shots. And let me go ahead and do the same shot that I was gonna do. Wow, look at this. So as you guys can see, so it is focusing. It's about 6-7 inches here. And let me see how close I can get to it. Now I'm about 4 inches. Wow. At 4 inches, it's still focusing. Now the minimum focusing from here to the phone is only about 3 inches, and it's still working. About 3.5 inches. That's amazing. And you can see that's an icon. I'm gonna be able to record that whole thing. Now my whole thing was I want to be able to do this. I was gonna slide it out. Since the autofocus works really well, I was gonna just go ahead and slide it out. Well, I don't know if that's gonna work. The focusing seemed to hunt a little bit. So let me see. I may be able to adjust it a little bit. Yeah, it's working. Alright, but that's not bad at all. I was able to pull it out. Let me try it again. If you're using an A7R2, you can set autofocus drive speed to fast, autofocus track sensing to high. Now, there's no such settings with the A7S II, which doesn't have the 399-point phase detection autofocus system. So initially, I was gonna actually keep the A7S II because I really dig the full frame, the low light capabilities, but I really need this macro feature to work. And I'm not going to use a fallow focus on here. On the A7S II, it just simply doesn't focus fast enough. I mean, it's just like horrible actually. For photos, it should be fine. So I've been really testing out both of these bad boys, the A7R2, A7S II. I'm really leaning towards the A7R2 at the moment. Although this has super awesome low light capabilities, thing is 90% of the shots I'm gonna take is in pretty much good lighting. I wanted this camera so I can do that night shots, those awesome crazy night shots. But these cameras are expensive, and in probably 6 months there's gonna be a new camera coming out. I'd rather save my money and get the new one when they have all of these problems fixed. For right now, I'm just going to keep the A7R2 just because it can do a lot of things. 42 megapixels. I'm going to still be able to use that in my videos for virtual zooming, especially the ability to switch between APS-C and full frame. Even with this little setup here, with the APS-C mode, I can make this 50mm into something like 75mm and get that even closer look. Plus clear zoom. It's amazing what you can do with this camera here. So I really want to keep the A7S II, but I'm going to keep the A7R2. Anyway, kind of getting long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. As always, stay on cameras.
Click here to subscribe.